Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just looking out the window here today, it's rather dull, damp, it's raining, or as we would say in Scotland, a bit dreich today. So I've got a nice painting for you, so let's get started. So you may recall the last one we did was this how to paint sheep, and as I said, after doing this painting, the next thing would be to try and introduce some sheep into a nice landscape scene. So I've got this painting here, this photograph, and it's a nice farm scene, farm building here, some hills in the background, a rather cloudy sky, but we've got an empty field, and it would be quite nice to get the sheep here and get them painted in round about here just to enhance the painting. So what I'm going to do first is quickly make a sketch of this scene, and I'll also try and sketch in the sheep in the foreground here, and then we'll tackle the painting. So how do we tackle this painting? Right, let's try and break it down to something fairly simple. What I'll do is I'll draw a line straight along there, that line for the field. We'll draw the hills in and the small building, the farm building, and that's about it. And then we'll try and get the sheep drawn in and crack on with the painting. So let's get started. So, just to refresh, I'm going to put that line across there and follow the rest from there. There's not too much in this, so a line about here. Just going to take it up just a little bit. I want to get the sheep in. So there's that line for the horizon line for the field. Now there's hills in the distance about here, some smaller lower ones, and then it goes up a bit, goes right up to about there. Right, that's not too bad. So I'm going to just make the building's in the distance. So that's the farm building, and there's a wall comes round here. Now I'm actually just going to keep it, the walls there, I'm going to keep it further to the right so that we can get the sheep in. Right, so there we are, just bring it round to about here. That'll do. And this wall gets bigger as it gets closer. Right, now there's another little building away in the distance. It's quite a nice little bit of attraction. Just going to put that in, and round about it are trees all the way along here. Behind this, I'm just going to let you see this again. Just behind this building, and that's probably about it. That'll do. Now we have the sketch to make of the sheep, so I'm going to try and get these sheep, two bigger ones and a lamb, and we'll drop them in about here. So you may recall I said in the sketch when we were doing the sheep, try and do it in 3 stages. A bigger box, slightly wider at the back, and then another bit here for the neck, and finally a bit for the head, the face. Right, so that's the first bit of the shape of the sheep. That's 1. There's another bit which is 2, and then the head which is 3. So 1, 2, 3. Right, so just going to make that slightly bigger now. we'll stick with the black faced, black leg sheep, so we'll keep that going. Get the leg in here, one there, and at the back, slightly bigger, and another one there. Right, so that'll do for one. So I've speeded the sketching up a bit for the second sheep. It's the same technique, 1, 2, 3, and add the legs. And I'm going to put a small lamb just in the centre. Right, so that's the sheep finished. I've added another one or two just in the background. And so we'll get on with the painting now. What I'm going to do is paint in this big sky. I don't know if I'll make it quite as dark and rugged as that, but we'll see. Now, as the painting is really about trying to add sheep to a scene, a landscape scene, I'm going to make the sky a lot simpler for you. We might tackle something like that in a later video, but I'll make it a lot easier. So let's get the sky in and the distant hills and the field. So I'm going to mix up some cobalt blue for the sky, cobalt blue, and I'll leave one or two clouds. I don't want to just paint it all blue, but I'm not going to make it like the scene in the picture. So let's get started. I'll leave some areas for clouds, or even just dab them out. So I'm going to start up in the top here. In fact, I'm going to make it easier for you. I'm just going to do the whole thing in and then dab some clouds out. So fairly straightforward. Just start to fill it all in. Just get that bit there. You can see I'm just going very quickly. Another bit here, and then we'll soften it off. Just going to soften this off now down at the bottom, and then I'll get the towel, a paper towel, and dab out some clouds. Right, it's not too bad. Right, so I'm going to get a piece of towel, I'm just going to crunch it up, and let's dab out some clouds, big clouds. Some up here. Yeah, that's quite nice, and we'll get some big ones over here. You've got to do this quickly before the paint dries, or you don't get nice white clouds, you'll just get paler blue clouds. Right, that's quite nice. Make some smaller ones here now. Going into the mountain there, we'll just let that dry. Right, that looks okay. So you should be able to have a go at that. Just dab some bits out there. Some bigger ones. Right, that'll do. Now, I'm going to put some grey in for some of the shadowy bits, and what I'm going to do is just add a bit of light red to this blue that I've got mixed up, and there's a grey, a nice grey colour, soft grey. So what I'm going to do now is just add some grey to the bottom of these big white fluffy clouds that we've got there. Just adding it at the bottom, Add some down here and a bit there, another bit here, and some bits there. Right, so what we need to do now is soften off the paint, just get some water and drag it about here. And we'll let the paint, not the water, do the work, sorry. So just see what I'm doing there, just dipping some pure water, softening off the hard edges. Don't leave any of the hard edges at the top. It's okay at the bottom here, but not at the top. And that'll about do. What I'm going to do next is I'd like to have painted the hills in, but that's still wet there, so I'm going to fill in the field with a light green colour. Then I'll come back and get the hills in. So swing round, light green is my old favourite again, cadmium yellow. And some Winsor blue, this blue or phthalo blue colour it is, super green. There we are, nice soft light summery green colour. So I'm just going to quickly paint the field in and watch the sheep. I want to paint over them, so just be careful. So around there. I've speeded the film up again, as you can see, because I'm really just filling in the grass for the entire area. But just be careful when you're painting the field to leave the white for the sheep. You need to paint round them. I'm just going to add a little yellow ochre colour. Not quite as dark as that, but I've softened it off. I'm going to add some in the left hand field as well. Just adds a little bit of character rather than a plain green. So I'll just carry on and get this finished. So I'm going to tackle the hills at the back now. This is dry, the sky is dry, so I'm just going to go straight in with a green. Again, quite a light green colour, cadmium yellow and Winsor blue again. Just watching where I paint. Just take my time here. Right, that's okay. I'll paint over the dark trees later, that's okay. And just a bit more green in this field on the other side. That's better. And right, I'll come and add some texture later on when it's dry. I'm just going to put one or two bits down there just to suggest the shape, and that'll do for that. I'm just going to tidy that bit up there. You might look at that and say, what is that? That's actually what we call a cauliflower. You don't want these in paintings, but they're quite easy to shift them. Just get some water and just drag over it. What happened there was this green part of the field at the bottom was almost, it moved away from being wet to just being damp. And then I came in with some fresh wet paint, and so when it got down to there it couldn't mix with it, so it builds up and we get what we call cauliflowers. So don't worry, it's not a disaster here. If you get that in a sky, that's different. That can create problems. So just be careful. But it's okay in the field. You'll see that I've managed to get rid of that. So I'm going to quickly try and fill in the wall. I've got a brown colour here, a bit of raw umber colour, burnt umber. I'm not going to fill it all in. I'm just going to leave some white bits, because there are stones that look lighter in colour, and it's quite nice just to kind of paint round some of them just now, and then we can use it later. So there's quite a lot of these white stones are on the top. So I'm going to leave them in for a bit, and I'm just going to fill the rest in quickly. So that's not bad, it's given a stony effect. And this will be slightly lighter as we get further away, so I'm just going to put that there, and I'm going to leave some of that white on the top. Right, that'll do. While I'm here with that colour, it's quite nice. I'm going to paint in the looks like a bit of a barn. I'm going to get that in quickly. Right. Okay, that's quite nice. Right, I'm just adding a bit of colour to the roof here. It's like the sun's coming from this side, so it's a pale grey colour. And I'm just going to make the front of this barn slightly darker. Right, that'll do. Next, I'm going to paint all the trees behind the building and along to the other buildings. So I've got a nice big dark green mixed up here. Just added some of that blue, Winsor Sailor blue, to some burnt umber with the mix that I had, and it's quite a nice green. So let's get started. Right. So we start here. Just take it around that building and down the side and here. Right, let's get it filled in quickly. I've just speeded the film up again to paint in this line of trees. So there's quite a lot of different shapes, and I've tried to create a variety here. So same colour, a big dark green wash that I mixed up. The brown and the Winsor blue gives you that super dark green. And as you can see, I'm just trying to give a bit of variety in the actual shape. Don't make them all the same. Try to have different sizes. And once we get that done, I plan to add some light with the sun coming in from the left. So I'll show you that in a minute. So as I mentioned, I'm going to use a bit of paper towel and dab out some bits as the sun is coming in from the left hand side. So some of the bits of the trees and bushes will be a slightly lighter green colour. So just going to do that along the rest of the trees, and as you can see it's leaving a bit that I can use to make lighter. So what I want to do now is just try and quickly fill in the remaining bits with colour, and then we can get into the detail. So what I want to do first is try and just add a lighter green to some of these bits of the tree where the sun's shining. Fill this little building in. Some grey on the sheep on the underside, and then we can start the detail. So I'm just really going to add, I've got some yellow mixed up. Let's try that, see if that does. I'm really just going to paint some yellow in here rather than greens. Just want to brighten it up a bit. I'll do that, that's okay. Yep, that's fine. So rather than mix up a green there, I just went in with yellow. So that's fine. Just going to paint in this building here. And just going to let that dry for a minute. What I'm going to do is try and tackle the sheep. So just want to let you see what I'm doing. I'm just picking up some Payne's grey, very loose watery grey, and I'm going to paint some shadow on the sheep. I'll just let you see the actual, remember the painting we did. If you haven't done this, go to the how to paint sheep video and you'll see there that what I'm talking about now is just adding some light grey round about the bottom of the sheep's body to suggest shape. So let's get started. So I'm just going to, this is a really watery, low value colour, way down about 3 level. And just painting it in. Just going to paint some over there as well, and a bit on this one. It's just to create the shape, the bulky part of the body. Right, that'll do. Now there's some nice individual trees up on the side of the hill here, so I'm going to just use that green that I had. I'm just going to swing around and let you see that. I've got some of this left, so I'm going to use that up on the top here. Like that. There we are. Right, yeah, so there's one or two little trees on the top of this hill, which is quite good. I'll just put some of them in. I'm using the rigger pointed brush for this. And that's fine for that. There's one or two bigger bushes in here, or trees it will be. Yeah, that's fine. Now there's some individual trees which are quite nice. going to try and drop these in. And one or two here just coming down into these ones. So I need to just paint some thin trunks and feathers so thin. Don't want to make them too big. That's fine. Now I'm going to use some more of that green, as I just want to add slightly more detail to these bits here that I've did for the background. So I'm just adding one or two little bits. I'm just going to carry on right along here using the rigger, the pointed brush, just to give a bit of character. They're all different, little bits sticking up here and there, just to create a nice background. They're all different, so I don't want to make them stiff looking, you know. Just feel free, you just get the brush and get the little pointed bits in sticking up, and it looks fine when it's all dry. I'm just going to add a little bit of detail to the building on the right hand side. Just going to put a line along here, quickly put a line in, and it's a little window up here, I think. There's a door. Going to make it brighten up a bit. Just nice brown door. Get there. That'll do. Now the tricky part is trying to paint this wall, the stone wall. So what I need is some grey, dark grey, Payne's grey. And I'm just going to start here on this side, and one or two suggestions of stones, taking that round and sort of wall here, I think, in the distance, right. And let me just take that down there. There's a light coming this way, so this will be in the shade. Right. So I'm going to start round about here now. Just some of these white bits that I left out, if you recall. I'm going to use these now as stones. Paint round about them. This takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. It just gives the finishing touch. Makes it look like a nice solid stone wall. There'll be a lot more detail in this part here in the immediate foreground, but after that I'm just going to start quickly flinging bits in. That's okay, that's starting to look fine. So again, I'm just going to get some more dark and work my way along here. The ones on the top can be quite effective. Right. Right, that's beginning to take shape. Okay. Yeah, some dark bits in as well. Got some dark stones. Not all white. Right, that'll do. Right, there we are. So that's the wall in. Now, I'm going to do, just when I've got some of that light brown left, I'm going to add one or two bits here, just to suggest stone shape. That'll do. Right, now we have the shape to do, and a little refresher. There's the sheep that we had. So I might just leave that there so you can see what we're going to do. Try and just get this to look like this now. So I need to get a dark colour, Payne's grey again, for the legs and the face. So let's get one of these. Start with the legs. So get that in, down, and there's another one here. Right, and the back legs. And the face, put the right. Now that doesn't look great at the minute, but some of these legs look a bit odd. But what I'm going to do is just put some of that darker colour right along the bottom there, and then we'll soften it off with water, so that it all mingles into the legs, and we'll have some bits, hairy bits hanging down. It's not all smooth. This is just trying to create the thicker part. Right, yeah, that's starting to look a bit better. Right, so there's that one done. I'll just leave that there. We'll have a go at the other one. You can use that as a reference. Get the dark colour first for the legs. Start with this back leg. And there's another one. And then two fairly rigid at the front. And the face again. And yeah. And I think there's an ear sticking out in this one. Right, so that's the feet and the face, and I'm going to, as I said before, just get some of that black and just go along the edges. One or two bits there. And then I'll get some water and just soften it off, just drag it up. Right. we are. So that's 2 sheep in. I'll just race on quickly and try and put these other ones in. Put the little lamb here first. I think this is this one's facing that way. And this one's looking at us. That one's looking that way. And the lambs. Right. So again, I'm just going to soften bits off. Right, that'll do. Well, almost there now. What I'm going to do is just show you how to paint some sort of tufty, grassy bits here to make this look a bit more realistic in the foreground. So, but before I do that, I'm going to use some of that green that I had. Show you this, some of that green, because if the sun is shining from the left, of course there'll be some shadows in here, so I'm going to just put a shadow along there, and there'll be one going this way as well. And there'll be one up here. And there'll be one like that. This makes it look a bit better. Right. Now, what I want to show you, as I said, is how to do some tufty bits of grass. So, get some green. Some green, some yellow, cadmium yellow. If the Winsor blue colour. And we've got our green. Start to draw some little humps, just bits like this. And maybe another one there. Let's put one in the foreground. Take one over to the, maybe there. Right. Now, what you've got to do is quickly get rid of this bit here. Just add some, the bit at the bottom, just add some water to it. Just so that it all softens off. So I'm going to add some tufty bits of grass just coming out here now. So just make them different sizes. You don't get grass all the same size, so some bits. It just helps to break the field up a bit. There we are, that's okay. Right, so we're almost there. Now I'm just going to add some bits to hopefully finish this off now. This field here will be in the shade a bit, so I'm just going to darken it, and then it will gradually get lighter. But the sun coming this way, the shadow will be behind the wall, and it's going to drag some bits across that top part to just break it up a bit as well. Some bits here. That'll do. Right. Well, I think that's about it. Yep, I think that's fine. That'll do. So here's the completed painting, and it's turned out well. Nice and fresh, bright summer colours, cloudy, lively sky, spring, summer fields, that super light green. But the most important thing is the sheep. Here's a close-up of the painting, and it's, I'm sure you'll agree, it adds to the finished painting, giving it a bit more character. So now it's your turn. Get the paints out, have a go, see how things go. Good luck. Why not add a comment and get some feedback on the video, or even better still, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get all the updates on the new videos and don't miss anything out. So keep painting and stay safe. Until the next time, thanks again.